All right, let's keep going. So remember, we talked about this blogging platform called Ghost, which seems pretty cool. Like we can go to Ghost blog and see what this thing is about. It has all these fancy things, all these happy people. We want to be one of them. So it seems like the first step would be to download this software, and maybe we could even use Docker to do this. So I just typed in Ghost Docker in Google. That's what that's called. And then if I go here, okay, first of all, looks popular. Free, open source, written in JavaScript. And it says that it seems like we should do this. So let's go ahead and try this. So I'm going to copy Docker pull Ghost and paste that into my terminal. You can be located anywhere, like in any directory. If you're familiar with the terminal, you can do this from anywhere. You don't have to, as long as you're in the terminal, you've downloaded Docker, just go ahead. And what's happening now is we're essentially downloading that software and using Docker to do it. You see these different numbers here. These are different images, whatever that means. And you can see that, okay, download this newer image for Ghost latest. So it seems maybe whatever an image is, that potentially each one of these things is an image, and then these smaller images comprise and make up this larger image. Again, I'm probably just speaking gibberish at this point. So we've downloaded the software, right? How do we do it? We did Docker pull Ghost. The next step for us to do is to actually run this software, okay? The way that we do that is, and I'll do this in a new tab, is to do Docker run followed by the name of the image. So that's Ghost, all right? So we've already downloaded it. Now let's try to essentially double click on that downloaded software and start using it. So you can see once I did Docker run Ghost, a lot of things happened. One, it tells me it's working, maybe. It says it's creating these tables. So this is part of that environmental setup that we said, we can kind of take for granted, but really can involve a lot, right? Like we're booting up the server. We have to create all these tables. It's like setting these different roles and things like that. And now it says it's ready. It's scheduling a cron job. So it does seem like, there is a lot of work to even just, booting up a piece of software. And maybe what we can do is, just listen to this thing. It says it's available at localhost 2368. And when we go there, it says it refused to connect, check the connection and firewall. And it looks like, if you're familiar with websites, when you make a request, you visit the website, oftentimes you'll see something down here in the terminal. I don't even see anything that says that we visited the website. And the reason why is because when you boot up your software, when you boot up an image into a container, that container is by default isolated from the rest of your computer. But it does have a fix to make this unisolated. I believe what we can do is, it says it's available at port 2368, but that's inside the container. What we want to do is say that that location inside the container is perhaps available to my outside my host computer, my laptop, at 8080. So let's try this again. And again, this is a whirlwind tour. I expect us to have a lot of questions, and that's the point. The point of the rest of these lessons is hopefully to begin answering those questions. So now let's go back here. Let's, instead of 2368, go to 8080. So I'll post that in, 8080. Oh my God. So it looks like we were able to download, access Ghost. They gave us these nice little blogs already in here, and we are one of the happy people. So this is a great thing. Now, what's probably disappointing is that it does not feel like we still have a total understanding of Docker. Probably more questions than answers at this point. Okay, so what are some of those questions that we have? Well, one, we talked about downloading images, and then it seemed like there were smaller images that comprised a larger image. So we have to understand, what is an image, and how do kind of smaller images make up a larger image. Then we said, the image essentially felt like downloading our software, but then we booted up, or at least that's what I said, we booted the image up into a container. So what does it mean to boot up a container, and how does an image relate to a container? All good questions. And then the other thing was, once we tried to boot up our container, remember what we did? We did something like Docker run ghost, right? But that didn't work. Remember we visited localhost, remember we did this? 2368, and we just saw something that says, hey, this is unavailable, something like this. And we had to then go to Docker run -p and then do something else. Well, I think what that's indicating is that originally, or by default, our containers are isolated. So the question is, okay, why does Docker / how does Docker isolate our software? Okay, and then finally, how do we get around it when necessary? So these are all good questions that we should explore in the upcoming lessons.